Hello guys, good morning. Welcome back. This is a video I'm making to present you and to show you my all-time favorite kit, the AMT 1957 Ford Fairlane 500. Well, this is just one of the re-releases this kit had over the years, but no matter what the re-release is, this one is my all-time favorite kit, and I don't believe it will change. The 57 Ford in general is my favorite car of the 1950s, and I'm the kind of guy that just can't have a specific favorite car or to remember just one, because over the years there were such nice cars and such great cars that I just can't choose one as my favorite. From the 1950s, I think the 57 Ford is the very top car in styling and in mechanical sturdiness and trustworthy, and I always thought it to be of extreme good taste, no matter the version. Bring it a custom 4-door, a custom 2-door, a custom 300, a Fairlane 500, a Fairlane 500, like this one. Actually, the name of the car is not just Fairlane 500. The name of the car is a little more complex than that, because Ford had a lot of cool nicknames to the cars, let's say. And this one is a Fairlane 500 Club Victoria. In truth, there were 57 Fords that just were called Fairlane 500s, but they had different side trim, completely different side trim, different trim on the roof, and a different interior with a more basic level of finish. So this car that AMT just calls Fairlane 500 is in truth the Fairlane 500 Club Victoria. Well, I have one built here that happens to be my favorite, both built model and 50s car, and I'm going to show you guys the model itself. Here she is. This is a 57 Ford Fairlane 500 Club Victoria, built from the AMT kit and painted on my favorite color, Raven Black. This car I built with some parts from the parts box that happened to be very adequate to replicate a pair of original Fomoco accessories that were offered on the dealer network back in 57. That were the fender mounted mirrors here on the front, that were accessories, and the rear deck antenna here on the back. This model, other than that, was built completely box stock from the AMT kit, and the release of the kit is the same that I just showed you the box. I have about 5 or 6 of those Fairlanes built. I have another one in black but with wire wheels from the 62 T-Bird kit, and I'll show you guys that model later on another video. And I can't get enough of this kit. For some odd reason, I'm just not a big fan of two-tone cars. I built a few in two-tone, but I used to build solid black cars. I think nothing can beat a nice shiny black finish with lots of chrome. Like I was telling you, this model is all box stock. And what this AMT kit has of really nice is the fact it has opening doors. I always loved this feature on this kit, the opening doors. I know that lots of people dislike the opening doors because they don't fit perfect and stuff like that, but I loved it. This kit was engineered in the 60s and can still run laps around the Revell 57 Ford. That is a fancy new toolkit, but this one is still pretty much superior in accuracy. It is a lot more accurate than the Revell kit. The guys at Revell managed to do those fins completely wrong here when they merge with the trunk. They all managed to do the rear wheel opening wrong. They managed to do the front wheel opening wrong. Their front bumper is not as realistic as this one. And I could go on and on and on praising the advantages of the AMT kit. And the AMT kit still builds into a nicer model. I guess there is something to be said about people back in the 50s and in the 60s that actually had to think and didn't have a computer doing their job for them. Like, I am an engineer myself. I know that today you just can't survive without the computer. You just can't survive drawing things by hand and making your calculations by hand. But I like to do so once in a while to remember myself what I studied for. And I really think people were smarter back in the day. They had to be right. They had very nicer and better cars than we have now. Well, let's take a look in more detail of the 57 Ford. Let's take the camera out. Here we go. Sorry for shaking. Here is the interior, and this is the original completely stock interior. The option here was medium gray and colonial, being colonial the vinyl and medium gray the cloth inserts. Here the door panels of the 57. Dash, steering wheel, sill plates that I did with foil. Let's take a look at the 312 V8. This is the original AMT 312 V8. I hand painted the valve covers to kind of replicate the decal Ford had applied from the factory on those engines. Also hand painted the C-Clear washer baggie. The engine is all stock, has no plug wires, and on a Y block the plug wires, they just get out of the distributor back there and go into two loops that pass under the exhaust manifolds and go to the spark plugs, so they are barely visible on the real car, not to mention on a model. Those mirrors, I think they came from the 1963 Ford Galaxy kit from AMT. And this antenna, I can't recall from what kit they came from. Here on the back, I replicated the trunk emblem with foil and with a custom-made decal saying Fairlane. On the real car, that little black piece where there are the Fairlane lettering is an acrylic insert. The tail lights have a foiling detail, foiled detail. Both of them, of course. On the underside of this car is also our stock. I added a couple of exhaust tips. The underside was painted and detailed to replicate a brand new 57 Ford. the front wheels, they steer on this kit. See? And all four wheels spin. On the side of the car, I did some detail painting on the wheel covers. There in the middle, where there are two Ford names, I detail painted that white circle. Also detail painted the black around the wheel cover that represents this top wheel. The side spear had a gold anodized detail on the real car that was replicated with gold candy wrap foil. The Fairlane 500 emblem was brush painted. Here on the front we have a detail that a lot of people with great models often do wrong, because they take pictures of cars from the internet with this detail redone wrong. That is the splash pan on the front, or the gravel pan between the bumper and the grille. This part on every single 1957 Ford was painted a color Ford called argent. That is flat aluminum. That piece is not painted body color, no matter the car. If it is a 57 Ford, that part is argent, not body color. So if you want to build one factory stock, have in mind that detail and paint it argent. Or for who is not a Ford crazy guy like me, paint it with a nice flat aluminum. I used Umbro flat aluminum enamel to paint that. Talking about paint, the paint on this body is automotive to replicate Ford Raven Black. It's a synthetic enamel, by far my favorite kind of paint, and was just polished to a shine. Gentlemen, I thank you again for having the patience to watch yet another of my videos, and have a nice week. Take care, and bye bye.